fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination.
Street Beats. This Rick style bass is looking pretty cool, I must say. I am really digging it. And the nice thing about building a kit or even building a guitar from scratch is setting it up the way you want. Now, there's a lot of theories and a lot of beliefs with guitars and basses, drums, whatever. The things have to be a certain specific way. While there is a path or a road you must follow, the variables can be quite different. Let me explain a little bit. So, personally, I've never owned a Rick bass. So let's get that right out of the way, and I'm sure right away that's going to piss a lot of people off. Well, what are you talking about if you've never owned them? Well, no, but I've played them. I've had them in my hands, been around them plenty. And I think they sound fantastic. I mean, how can some of the world's best musicians be wrong, right? But what is it about a Rick? It seems like it's either a love it or hate it relationship. And I did a little research and a little bit of diving in to the Ricks, and I found out a lot of interesting things. Found out what an amazing company they are for one. How they're all hand built. Even their electronics are built in-house, and not a lot of companies can say that. Now, there's a lot of variables, and I'm going to explain some things to people, because if you hate them, that's okay. If you love them, that's okay. But if you hate them, are you hating them for the wrong reasons? Or are you hating them, well, because maybe they're out of your price range, and I totally get that. But that really shouldn't be a hate issue. That should be, or do you hate them because you don't like the way they play? Do you hate them because you don't like the way they sound? I can understand that too, but they're both subjective things, right? After all, everything is subjective. As guitar players, we get into a mindset and that things have to be the way we like it, and nothing else matters, no matter what this person or what this person plays. It's what I want and what I like. And that's true if it's for you. But the fact of the matter is, it's not just for you. You are not the only person in the world. And that's the thing that we're going to call out today. On any instrument, you're not the only person in the world. It wasn't made specifically for you. You are not that special. And that statement right there will piss people off, but you're not. You're not special. Just so you know. I don't care how professional, how many years you've been playing, you're not special. Because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And that's just the way of life. So, we're going to touch and some facts and this is going to kind of go across the spectrum of electric guitars. You can take this over into any instrument, whatever. First off, if you've never had your hands in anything, and what I mean by had your multiple times hands in anything, building anything, you have no experience doing anything, you should probably be quiet until you get a little bit of experience so you can build a base and know what you're talking about. In other words, don't form an opinion and have it be an opinion based on nothing, based on opinion. Opinion based on an opinion. That's the worst kind of opinion, right? Because you have no room for fact. For instance, people hate the Rickenbacker, and you can say Backer or Bacher. So in the comment section, there is no correct way of saying it. They went by both names. They changed the pronunciation later on in the history of Rickenbacker. Backer or Bacher. So both ways are correct. Whatever you want to say it, hey, don't be the word police. But the bridges. So we got the bridges, and people can't stand these Rick bridges. Why? Why? They say, well, I can't get my action right. Is that a fault of the bridge, or is it a fault of you not knowing how to set up a bass or a guitar or what have you? Carries across to anything, right? Why do we always go, it's the fault of the bridge, their junk, their shit? Well, this is an all parts. It's not even actual. It's an all parts bridge. Rick direct replacement. It's got the bridge mute. I routed out for it, installed it. My first time playing with it. But you know what? I had to do a setup on this bass, and I knew I was going to have to do it. And after looking at things and through the process of elimination, doing it the correct way through the process of elimination in the correct steps, in other words, not adjusting the neck first. We're going to adjust our neck relief first. We're going to make sure that our bridge height and our nut are correct before we go any farther, because people start taking wrenches to necks and try to either add or take away relief and not knowing what they're doing, simply to get the action lower, and that's not the correct way of doing it. And are you adjusting your neck with your strings on and your strings off? And there's a few different ways you can do that. There's not one way to do everything, and that's another point. There's not one way, there's many ways, many different situations, many different reasons. So, why do you love a Rick, or why do you hate a Rick? Do you hate a Rick because of the way it plays, the way it sounds? Is that why you hate it? And that's legitimate. You're allowed to hate that. Why do you love a Rick? Because of the way it plays, the way it sounds. You see how that just went each way. So, a lot of people complain about Rick nuts. They got a high action. And they didn't understand why Rick made the nut, well, kind of so you can file out a little more and put your action a little lower or what have you. Because one size doesn't fit all, and you can take away material, but you can't add it. Some people like a higher action. Me, I like my action right down to the fretboard. That's me. Some people don't. Some people, depends on your style of playing. There is no right way and there is no wrong way. Some people like a lot of neck relief. Some people don't like any. There is no right and wrong way. It's what you prefer, contrary to what anybody tells you. It's what you prefer. Why? It's your bass and you have to play it. Your guitar, you have to play it. Your drum set, and you have to play it. Yes, it carries over to everything. You said, I'm a drummer, drum builder by trade. And there's so many different opinions on the way things should be. But they're not facts. Facts are a Rick bass can be set up to be amazing playing across the whole spectrum. Now, do you like the sound? That's different, right? That's totally subjective. But I assure you, they all can be made in one fashion or another to play amazing. We can have a high action. We can have a low action. Okay? We can set it any way. We can shave a neck. Anything you want. But because you don't know how to do it or you don't have the money to have it done, don't hate it. Simply say, that's not for me, and get one that's for you. Instead of having the hate in our heart for something, say, I respect that. It's really cool. Some people really dig that. Look at all these guys playing them. They love them. Same thing with the P bass. Now, a P bass is awesome, right? I think they play beautifully, especially when I went to a fretless. Wow. I mean, fretless, whole different world. But since I built this one and in the process of building this, man, do I like it. So, and at first I was on the fence too, because, well, it took a little bit of getting used to the setup and how to set this up. So, this is my first time running flat wounds. It's different. And my setup, my action's a little bit lower now than I normally would because I'm running flat wounds. They respond a little differently, and I like it. They're fast playing, and I like it. The bridge is set perfectly. The action of this thing is slammed right down. I did file my nut. It sits in the grooves nicely. I didn't file the nut off the back. I actually file it into the grooves individually and take my time and get them right. Now, what's really nice, I guess I'm kind of old school, because what's really nice about setting up this style of bass, and yes, the bridge that everybody hates and rags on, and they can't stand it, and it sucks, and blah, blah. And most of their reasoning is, well, I can't adjust each individual saddle for action height. Well, it's already radius for the fretboard. It's already got a radius. It's already set for you. It's like carburation and fuel injection. They've taken away all the computer work, using a metaphor. And you're going old school carburation. It's simple, it's effective. It's simple and it's effective. And as when I'm building something, I want it simple and effective. I don't want it complicated. So another thing they complain about is intonating the bass. Well, it's really not that hard. Let's face it. It's really not that hard. Simply detune, move your intonation, the whole thing pops out. Set it to where, you might have to fiddle with it a few times, but once it's on, it's on. It isn't going to go nowheres anymore. It's simple to do. Well, I can't adjust it while it's on. Well, you're not supposed to adjust it with all that pressure on it anyhow. So people are doing things wrong. So it's a real simple setup, and your height of your bridge is determined by this screw and this screw. You have an adjustment for the right side and the left, or the top and the bottom, if you want to look at it that way. Mine is slammed right down. Slammed right down, perfect radius, perfect action. Beautiful action. And we'll get to the bass and neck, and when you have to adjust. No, if you're adjusting your truss rod, be careful for one. Small increments are the way to go, but do you know what you're really doing when you adjust your truss rod? Especially on a bass, and you got a long scale bass, there's a lot of tension on that neck already. So your neck's naturally going to want to either be straight or come back. When you put the tension on, it's going to pull it forward. For instance, I can have my strings loose, play here, and have fret buzz. But once I tune them, my fret buzz is gone. But most people go, oh, I got fret buzz, before they even tune up the bass. Tune up your bass first. See what you got. That's the way to do it. Loosen your strings, adjust your truss rod slowly. Tighten them back up to tune, to pitch, and do it again. Simple things. The hate for these is amazing. Now, this doesn't have the standard Rickenbacker style pickup here or pickup cover, but it's going to. Another thing people hate is the position of this, because I play there. I hate it because I play there. Well, no, you don't play there. You weren't supposed to play there. That's why Rick made them that way. You're supposed to play here. They knew where they were doing when they designed the bass. They put a cover of it because they wanted you to play here. Obviously, they figured that is what gave them the best tone. So people removed the cover because they preferred to play here, which is fine. And I understand, nothing better than modding. But don't hate it because Rick put a cover there. They put it there for a reason. I can play here. Keeps me a nice tight little place to play right by the bridge. Totally different sound. Or I play here. Personally, I play in the middle of the pickups, as intended, so you're getting the balance when needed. If you want to take the pickup cover off and move back here, that's fine. Nobody cares. Personally, you can use your cover as a thumb rest for here. Or you can do the zero mod in here, which the zero mod's kind of weird to me because it's so far away from the strings. So basically, I don't even use it, but if I'm going to play and I'm playing here, I'm here. Do I want to be over this pickup? No. It's just a reason to bitch because there's a pickup cover there, and another reason to hate Ricks because they got a cover there. My P bass has a cover there. I don't bitch about it. You know what I do? I play here or here on it. Preference, and if I don't like it, I remove it and I play there. But it's not a reason to hate it. There's no reason to hate any instrument unless it's garbage. Now we're talking a whole different thing, and it takes a lot to make an instrument garbage. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of your cheap child guitars and drum sets and bass guitars and pianos and organs and trombones and trumpets are junk. Violins, junk. You can hate those because they're junk and they're useless because they don't stay in tune. They don't do anything properly. They don't have good resonance. They vibrate to hell. You don't need those. But for it, especially when you're setting one up, like it's like kits, guitar kits. A lot of guitar kits are top quality kits. You get some good stuff. And then people bitch when they get the kit and they go, well, this had fret buzz when I was done. Buddy, it's a guitar kit. Do your fret work. They didn't sell it to you under the assumption that you weren't going to have to set some stuff up and learn in the process, because that's what they're for. They're to set up, learn, level your frets, crown your frets, file your frets. All that stuff. It's a kit to put together to learn on, to learn how to build. If you want something that doesn't need work, go buy one from the music store. Don't buy a kit. It's not for you. So this is really simple things. I've seen so many complaints about guitar kits for ridiculous reasons, or see a comment about a kit that makes no sense whatsoever. You know, number one thing, like, give me shit strings. It's a guitar kit. They're going to give you bass strings. They don't know what you like to play. No matter what, they could put Ernie Ball Slinky 942s in there. Somebody's going to bitch about it. So they give you a basic set of strings to play. They give you all the things you need. And when you're done, you have a playable guitar with everything that they gave you. Do you want to upgrade that later on? Well, yes, case in point. Leo James bass kit, Rick style. Couldn't afford a new Rick. I just built one that plays amazing and is getting upgraded every day. I'm going to have pennies into it compared to an actual Rick. And it will play and sound just as good. How do I know? Because it plays and sounds just as good right now, and I haven't even changed the pickup yet. It's that simple. It's the feel when you play. How does it make you feel? What sound do you like? Sound is subjective, like I said. Playing is subjective. High action, low action. What do you like? What are you comfortable with? There's no right and wrong answer. There's just what you like. But don't hate something because you don't like it. That's a problem with Americans. That's what we do. We hate things because, well, it doesn't fit into my box. Well, I'll show you there's a world out there bigger than your box with a lot of people who like a lot of things that you don't, and you gotta learn to deal with that. And I'm gonna leave you there. And if this made anybody angry, good. I'm glad. It might make you angry. Maybe it'll make you think. Maybe you might lose some sleep over it. Maybe think on it a little bit. And if you like this video and you think, well, he's right, it's all subjective. Hope you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Because even if it is one of those kids' toys and it's a pile, did it put a smile on your kid's face? I guess that made it worth it too then, right? That's what it's about. Having fun. Don't bash other people's stuff. Don't bash it. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. Don't be an instrument basher. Don't be a Gibson snob. Don't be a Rickenbacker hater. Thanks, guys. Love this.